Well, good evening. I really want to thank everybody for being here tonight and for tuning in on TV. We want to welcome you to our 2012 City Commission debate. This is the debate for Seat 1. We really want to thank our sponsors. Kissimmee Utility Authority is our title sponsor, KUA. Thank you very, very much. And of course, our great friends at Walt Disney World. Thank you for being a corporate sponsor. And last, certainly not least, our friends at Access Osceola. Thank you for putting this on TV. And of course, you can watch it at the Chamber website at KissimmeeChamber.com. Well, we're going to jump right into the debate and let the candidates give an opening statement. They'll have 1 minute each. And we are going to begin with Mr. Alvarez. Mr. Alvarez, you have 1 minute.
Good afternoon, Mr. Horner. Thank you for having us here. My name is Jose Alvarez. I'm a candidate for the City Commission, Kissimmee Seat 1. My main goal, once I become a city commissioner, is to tackle the issues that we have in unemployment in our city. Also helping our businesses here locally in our city and trying to make sure that we find many ways to keep their doors open, and that will actually in return cure the issues that we have with unemployment. Want to work also with the biggest issue that we have here is a lot of homeless, especially a lot of our homeless out here in the city of Kissimmee are veterans. So we need to find solutions to get these people back to work, get them into housing, and hopefully we can move forward in a positive way.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alvarez. Next up, Deborah Rosado.
Good afternoon. Hi, my name's Deborah Rosado. I live here in Kissimmee, 17 years, single mother. I have an agency here called All Family Resource Center where we offer social services, mental health, legal aid. We help with immigration, and my goal is to help with resources that we need here. Focus on the people, focus on what they're wanting and the change they're seeking. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, Robert Seacrest.
Thank you, Mr. Horner. 25 years ago, I entered first grade at Highlands Elementary School. Since that time, I've finished school in Kissimmee, attended Valencia College, and now I'm raising my family here in Kissimmee. I'm running for city commissioner because I believe the city of Kissimmee deserves a representative that knows what it's like to grow up in Kissimmee, knows the struggles that Kissimmee people face, and is willing to do what it takes to help them. There is a consensus among the people that I've talked to recently. Kissimmee needs a strong economic base, a safer community to raise their families, and a higher standard of living. We can all achieve these goals if the City Commission is willing to do the hard work that it will take to keep the businesses that are here satisfied, attract new businesses, and maintain a high standard of public safety. August 14th, vote for a better Kissimmee, vote for Robert Seacrest.
Thank you very much, Mr. Seacrest. Next up, Dave Shear. Dave, you have a minute.
Thank you. My name is David Scherer. I'm running for the City Commission Seat 1. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today and seeing this debate between the different candidates. Thank you for your concern and your interest in the City of Kissimmee. As a City Commissioner, we need to encourage local business development, keep people in their homes, and keep people working. And those are my prime goals for being a City Commissioner. I've been a resident of Kissimmee for 33 years. I own a business downtown here called A+ Appraisals. I'm a commercial real estate appraiser. I understand what's going on in the city, and I want to do what I can to improve our standard of living, and I want to make sure people live, work, and play right here in Kissimmee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shear. And let's have a big round of applause for all of our candidates for being here today. Well, we're going to get right into the questions. We have an illustrious media panel here to help us ask our candidates probing questions. I want to introduce to you the editor of the Osceola News-Gazette, Brian McBride. Let's hear from Mr. McBride. Thank you. And with El Osceola Star, Jorge Perez. Mr. Perez, thank you very much. Mr. McBride, the first question will come from you.
Thank you. Hello, candidates. My first question is, what kind of experience do you have that makes you a qualified City Commission candidate?
Ms. Rosado, we're going to begin with you.
Oh, of course. I went to school here at Valencia, and I have my associates. I have a bachelor's degree in legal studies, and I have a master's in criminal justice with a specialty in behavioral science. And through my agency, what I do is work with people on a daily basis with all the resources, the need, the homelessness, substance abuse, mental health, everything that is needed here. And I hear it on a daily basis, everything that is needed locally, which we don't have. So I'm hearing it every day, and we're working at it.
Thank you very much. Mr. Seacrest, your response.
A city commissioner, their main responsibility is to represent the city, represent the people who live in the city. I'm a former small business person. I'm also a painter. I do commercial work. I do basically labor work and work on commercial properties and residential properties. The city commissioner's goal should always be to do what's best for the city. We need to be able to be an ambassador for the city. We need to speak to businesses that are planning to come to the city, be able to represent what the city commission goals are and what the city commission has been working on, and do whatever is necessary to keep a stronger economy. So my experience would be as a small business person, as a working class person, and the ability to be able to talk to people.
Thank you very much. Mr. Scheer, your response.
The best qualifications for any position will be experience. The more experience you have, the better you can relate to other people. I've been a resident for 33 years here in Kissimmee. I own a small business. I understand the needs of small businesses. I've also been a volunteer fireman for 14 years, so I understand social needs, as well as being the executive director for Habitat for Humanity, which is a Christian ministry focused on housing. So I've seen homeless people. I understand their needs. I understand the needs of the business person. One of the other experience I have is being a property appraiser for Osceola County Property Appraiser's Office in Volusia County. I've dealt with multi-million-dollar budgets. I've dealt with taxation issues. I understand millage rates and how they impact people. That's why I feel I've got the best qualifications out of all the candidates.
Thank you very much. Mr. Alvarez, your response.
Jose Alvarez is a real estate broker. I'm also one of the past presidents from the Association of Realtors here in Osceola County. I have experience in government. I have served in many committees as chairman, vice chair, and regular membership. I have been involved with this community for many years. As a realtor, I have fought for homeownership right for the local and state association of realtors in Tallahassee with our representatives. I've also fought for homeownership right in Washington, D.C. for National Association of Realtors and also for the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. That's my side as a realtor. Prior to becoming a realtor, I worked for the Department of Transportation. What did I do for the Department of Transportation? Worked on fixed roads, and fixed bridges. I was involved with DOT for over 10 years. I started working as a laborer in DOT and climbed all the way up before I left Miami and left the Department of Transportation, working for the engineering department. I have the experience that is needed in the city. I know what the city and each of the departments.
Mr. Alvarez, thank you very much for your answer. We really appreciate that. And we're going to have a question now from Mr. Perez.
You were talking about increasing the economical base in Kissimmee. As you know, I consider the Kissimmee airport could be a mine waiting to be exploited. Do you have any plan for increasing the use of the airport and increasing the revenue, having more air traffic in the airport here in Kissimmee?
Mr. Seacrest, you're first.
Thank you for the question. The Kissimmee Airport is a The Kissimmee Airport is a strong asset the city has, and there's some area around the Dyer Armstrong area that is vacant. There's been talks of the CRA on the 192 corridor, and that would be an effective way to help raise tax revenues and then get a base for infrastructure around the area. The Kissimmee Airport is doing very well with small planes, and there is some cargo plane availability. The only problem I see with the Kissimmee Airport is runway length, and a city commission should make it a goal to try any avenue they can to find any piece of land that could possibly extend some of the runways and bring in some larger planes, cargo, and that could help with any types of manufacturing companies or distribution around the area.
Thank you very much. Mr. Shear.
This week I met with the operations manager of the airport, Azhar Hussain. He let me know the plans that the airport has currently. In the works are the extension of the runway. They're also looking about adding extra taxiways, which will help open up some of the areas of the airport that can't be developed right now for commercial development. The development that's there now is doing a good job. There's three schools that teach people to be pilots and mechanics. There's actually other operations that are going on there as far as some commercial development. But with these new taxiways that open up and some of the new roads the Department of Transportation will be putting in, we'll be able to bring in a lot more commercial development and industrial development, which fits the needs of the airport and the surrounding area. And I feel that this is going to be a tremendous advantage to Kissimmee. We now have more local airport traffic than the Kissimmee Executive Airport.
Thank you very much. Mr. Alvarez.
I believe that the Kissimmee Airport is the gateway to Kissimmee. This is where Kissimmee is going to be able to create revenues to hopefully in one time maybe some of the departments in the city of Kissimmee can be eliminated out of our budget and can be sustained by the airport. We not only need to work and make sure that this airport is completed and move pretty quick to get it done, but we also need to move around and finish the roads that are around that airport. We need to finish the project in Hoagland. We need to jump on the project of Martin Luther King. We need to tie in those roads together so we could get not only the airport being a positive role for the city of Kissimmee to create revenues, but also the businesses in the surrounding area that are going to bring even more revenues to the city. So yes, I believe very strongly about the Kissimmee Airport, and we should move forward with it.
Thank you very much. Ms. Rosado.
Well, with all said, I agree also. There's something also I do like about that we're not doing with the airport, and it's that there's a lot of Hispanics, especially from Puerto Rico here, living close to Kissimmee, and I would wish and would love to see that airport being used where they can come and directly from Puerto Rico here. So I think there's a lot we can do with the airport, and I think that would be great with revenues, yes.
Excellent. Mr. McBride, next question's from you.
As I'm sure you're aware of, the city budget deals in the hundreds of millions. What kind of budgeting experience do you have?
Mr. Shear.
Well, I have extensive budget experience with Osceola County when I worked for the Property Appraiser's Office. Not only did I oversee a portion of the budget for the Property Appraiser's Office, I had to look at the entire county budget. So when we developed the assessed values for the county properties, we knew what we were working with and how that was going to affect all the budget requests through the county. Now, the county has a very large budget, so that's a major impact on people's property taxes here. So it's important that we look at that, we study what's going on, what's happening with values, because that does impact the budget. This year, I do understand that values in the Osceola County property area are going down, so we're going to look at, again, another shortfall this year, which we will have to make up somewhere.
Thank you very much. Mr. Alvarez.
When I was the president of the Osceola County Association of Realtors, as the president, I was in charge of budgeting. I'm also very in charge of budgeting in my home, even though my wife will say it differently. And hopefully government will work on their budget the same way that each and one of us work on our budget at home. If we don't have the money, we just can't pay for something, and we need to move forward. So that's my experience in budgeting. In reference to property value, I don't agree that property value here in Kissimmee and in Osceola County is lowering. I think property value is climbing up. And as a real estate broker and as a realtor, I can assure you that what we're seeing out there is property value climbing, not going down. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Rosado.
My experience with budget would be my own experience with my agency. I started my agency with little funds, and it's been 5 years, so I think I've done a well budget there, and my personal budget. But my big interest is to roll up my sleeves and really work really hard once I'm commissioner and check and see what we have as a budget, where we can work with it, and work hard.
Thank you. Mr. Seacrest.
my experience with budgets, before I was a small business owner as a painter, I worked in the golf industry. I had aspirations of becoming a professional golfer. Obviously that didn't work out, but as a golf course management, it's just like anyone else that may own a small business in this room. You deal with absolutes, and you have to deal with the fact that if you don't have enough money to run an operation, or if you need to anticipate raising revenues, there's a lot of experience in that. And also running a business, if you run a business in this room, you know that it's very difficult to maintain that level. And if you, unlike a city or a government, if you run out of money, you're bankrupt. So the city, anyone on the city commission needs to have that awareness that everyone in the city struggles with money, and we need to do what it would take to make sure the budgets are always very, very strong and very clean, and there's no deficits.
Thank you very much. Mr. Perez, the next question is from you.
Okay, this question was about the economic. What would you propose for improving business conditions in Kissimmee, and particularly for attracting business for those empty property on Vine Street and OBT?
Mr. Alvarez.
I've been sitting with the city manager for quite a while, and I usually sit with him at least once or twice a month. And that has been one of my concerns and the concerns that I brought to him from the business owners in Kissimmee as a business owner myself. We need to review what's affecting these businesses. I have proposed to the city manager that once I win this election, we need to go out there door to door, talk to the business owners, find out exactly what's affecting them. When we get down the list and see the majority that's being affected by one issue, let's work and get that out of the way. It could be something as simple as signage. This is going to be the future of creation of jobs in Kissimmee. How can we expect to bring new companies in if we're not taking care of the ones that we have here? So that is number one in my agenda, to start working the day after I get elected. Thank you.
Ms. Rosado.
I think that way back 17 years ago when I got here, 192 is beautiful. Hotels, lights, everything. Today, looks like a ghost town. We need to work on that. We need to bring back tourism. Tourism is a big goal, and we need that back. Small businesses also. I have a small business. I'm hearing the complaints every day. Yes, Mr. Alvarez, signage. It's a big problem. We need to help also with incentives, grants, those small businesses, help them. Because if we help them, they're going to be successful. And if they're successful, they're going to bring employees. So it's like a dominoes effect. We need to help the small businesses. We need to help 192. We need to rephase it. Thank you. Mr.
Seacrest.
Thank you. The job of the city commissioners, like I said earlier, is to appeal to, we're the representative for the city. There has been $100 million worth of renovations at the Florida Hospital Kissimmee and Osceola Regional Medical Center. Now, some of the areas on Vine Street and North OBT that haven't been affected by our CRA, like I said before, a CRA would help with raising in tax revenue, keep it in an area, work on infrastructure, try to clean up the area, and then we can attract businesses, specifically medical. They could be supplier, they could be vendors for medical field. We could even attract office space business and those higher income jobs. Tourism is great, and we need to bring in as much tourism as we can to the city, but I would say that the city we need higher paying jobs, and some of those jobs would come from those fields that I talked about earlier.
Thank you very much. Mr. Scheer.
We know what's affecting businesses these days. It's the economy. It's not going to change until we make changes ourselves, both nationally and locally. Some of the problems I hear when I talk about small business owners are some of the regulations that they have to go through in order to develop their business or to expand their business. We need to see what the city of Kissimmee is doing to encourage and also discourage local businesses from expanding, from growing, or from developing. In a lot of cases, there is people there that are ready to come into the area, but they're just not the right economic conditions at this time. We'll need to look at that. We need to offer incentives to have them come in at a sooner rate than they're ready. We need to let them know that Kissimmee is open, and we're willing to work with them to make this a better place.
Thank you very much for those answers. Mr. McBride, the next question is from you.
Red light running cameras have been somewhat controversial in the state of Florida. As you know, the city of Kissimmee is currently installing them. What is your opinion on them?
Ms. Rosado, red light cameras.
Oh, I'm okay with it. I am okay with it. As a matter of fact, today I had an experience where I was coming out of Office Max right there on 192, and there was a very ugly accident. The person didn't even go run to help the other person, and I had to stop and call 911, and he was having pain chest and everything. So I think that at that light, I think that they saw everything that happened. The other person didn't even care. So many times there's people that are not careful with their driving, so I think it's okay, I think.
Thank you very much.
Fine.
Mr. Seacrest, red light
Yeah,
cameras.
top priority for the city of Kissimmee, the commissioners, even the police force, is public safety. Red light cameras have become, they're almost national. Some states have not allowed them, but they've been around for a while. I had some experience with the Main Street red light camera. My wife blamed me for running the red light, but I think it was her. Anyway, the only problem I see with the red light cameras is if it caused a budgetary gap or if there was a negative cost effectiveness. If you go on the Kissimmee website, you can see that $75 of the, I think around $160 fine goes to the vendor themselves. So only half of the fines are going to the vendor. The vendors cost a lot of money. Public safety is definitely a priority, but police officers, patrol, other things like that are definitely a priority. So if the red light cameras become negatively cost effective, and there's no drastic shift in rates of accidents, or if it's not a definite positive, then we should look into changing them.
Thank you very much. Mr. Shearer, red light cameras.
Personally, I am not a big fan of red light cameras. I understand the desire to make this a safer place for us. I'm not sure that a red light camera is going to stop somebody from causing an accident. We don't get a lot of revenue from the red light cameras here in the city of Kissimmee. A lot of it gets sent out to the owners of the cameras, the people who install it, the state. So the amount of money that we bring in is going to be small. And Orlando is now having a serious problem with people complaining about the red light cameras and going to court, taking them to court over the findings of the cameras. I don't want to see the city of Kissimmee get into a point where we're spending a lot of money defending a decision that was made in the name of safety, where there's no proven fact right now in the city of Kissimmee that they are a safety issue, or they are making things safer.
Thank you very much. Mr. Alvarez.
I'm in favor of red light camera. The law says the red light, you stop. And there's a lot of people out there, unfortunately, that don't believe that they need to stop. Unfortunately, we cannot put an officer in every corner. Yes, whoever's going to take the light is still going to take it, but it's going to think about it twice before they do that, once they know that that camera is there. In reference to the fees, yes, not too much fees come to the city. But who pays for those red light cameras? Who pays to maintain them, to install them, to continue working on them? That expense doesn't come to the city. That expense is what comes out of the fine that is given. So I am in complete support of red light cameras, and if we could put it in every corner, I'll be more than happy to approve that.
Thank you very much for those responses. Mr. Perez, the next question is from you.
Okay, this question is about taxes and fees. Are you in favor or opposed to increasing taxes without a citizen referendum?
Mr. Seacrest, taxes and fees.
So specifically, you were saying, would I be in favor of raising them? What was the specific question?
Are
Mr.
you
Perez, if you'd like
in
to-
favor to approve without a citizen referendum, or you are opposed to approve without a citizen
So,
referendum?
Mr. Seacrest, I'm going to clarify the question for everybody, just so we're all on the same playing field. Mr. Perez, your question is, would you be in favor of ever raising any taxes or fees without a voter referendum? Is that your question?
Right.
That's the question, Mr. Seacrest. Your response.
Specifically, the voter referendums on the sales taxes and any fees, that I'm not in favor of raising taxes against the will of the citizens of the city. Absolutely not. The budgets and the revenues that the city bring in sometimes need to go up because if we face a deficit or if we're forecasting lower revenue. But just simply raising a tax base to make up for the shortfalls, I think is irresponsible, because unless you've reached every avenue of looking at any type of waste or any type of doubling up in services from different parts of the government, then just simply raising a tax rate without a referendum vote would be irresponsible, and I wouldn't do that.
Thank you very much. Mr. Scheer.
The Osceola County property appraiser has already stated the values for 2012 are going down in Osceola County, which means the city of Kissimmee will have less money to work with. I am not in favor of raising fees or millage rates. In fact, the city of Kissimmee is already proposing a reduction in the fire assessment fee. I'm glad to see that. It just means we need to look at other places to reduce our expenditures in the city of Kissimmee so we don't have to raise property taxes or fees. Just like any other household, my household is structured so that when I don't bring in as much money, we don't spend as much money. Same thing is going to be true for the city of Kissimmee. As revenue goes down from taxation, so will expenditures. They'll have to go down. But I am definitely not in favor of any increase, whether it be by referendum or by the city itself.
Thank you, Mr. Alvarez.
I'm not in favor of raising any taxes. I think government is way too much big as it is. I've always said that we don't have a funding problem, we have a spending problem. What we need to do is we need to focus on different revenues that can be created to avoid having to charge those high amounts of taxes. We need to work on trying to get that budget items from different departments to be covered by private revenues that come in to the city. So no, I oppose any taxes to be increased without the citizens having their say-so over it.
Ms. Rosado.
No, I oppose also. Right now, with the economical hardship we're all going through, and here in Kissimmee, and salaries being so low and everything going on, no, I would not. I would not.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Mr. McBride, the next question comes from you.
In creating new jobs here in the city, what kind of industry should the city be looking at luring in?
Mr. Scheer.
It's going to be a difficult area to discuss. It's got to be what new businesses are willing to come into the area based on what we have in the way of the workforce. Right now, the major expansions in the area are in the health industry. We've got Medical City to the north of us. We've also gotten some new industry into the area, such as small manufacturing. We need to bring in those type of jobs, manufacturing and health industry, that's going to create employment with a greater ability to pay their employers at a higher rate. Our economic base right now is based on a lot of families where there are two people working in the home just to make it by. Most of them work in the tourist or service industry, which is known not to pay at a high rate. So if we bring in some more technical or medical areas of employment, I think that's going to benefit our area quite a bit.
Mr. Alvarez.
Technical jobs are great. I believe in that. Medical, we have two of the best hospitals here, Osceola, and we have Florida Hospital. We're also working to try to see if we could create our own small medical city ourselves. But how can we look into first thinking of what jobs will come in if we don't take care of the ones that we have here? So I say let's concentrate to get the businesses that we have here ongoing to make sure that they're successful, they keep their doors open, and they start hiring new people. Thank you.
Ms. Rosado.
I go for the same. I'll stick still with my small businesses, the businesses we have. Also tourism. I think tourism working closely with Disney will help us a lot. We need to open that door once again. We have closed it on 192. I keep insisting tourism, small businesses, that's where it's at.
Mr. Sechrist.
Kissimmee is obviously a great place. We all live here, we love it, and there's so much to offer. The Gateway Airport we talked about earlier, the lakefront renovation that will be completed in a couple years. The city has looked into the Hansel Power Plant building, which is, if you know Kissimmee, it's the old KUA building, and it's basically abandoned, and it's going to be turned into multi-use office space. The way that families can maintain or acquire a higher standard of living is through higher income jobs. The medical city in Lake Nona is only 20 miles away. City of Kissimmee obviously has a lower rent area, so businesses like that would want to come here. Anytime we could improve 192 and North Kissimmee, that would attract new businesses to come here. Also, the businesses that are here, they need to maintain that high economic standard. So as far as incentives, or the city's already doing incentive programs, and they've shown the work in downtown areas. So if we can just incorporate the whole city, as far as specific industries, the medical industry, the middle incomes type of manufacturing jobs, and office space.
Thank you very much. The next question, Mr. Perez.
As you know, the city of Kissimmee is changing, year after year. We having new people come from other places, and in this way our population is becoming more diverse. Now we are talking about diverse management personnel in the city of Kissimmee. Do you think that the city of Kissimmee need to increase, diversity in management in order to have more, we can say, proper representation of all the group that we have in our city? Or do you think, that in the way that it is now is okay?
Everyone understand the question? Mr. Alvarez, you're first.
In my opinion, I think the city of Kissimmee is well structured and in diversity of different nationalities that are here representing us. Is there room for improvement? There's always room for improvement. But I'm very proud of the city of Kissimmee and the way that they keep their staff that is proportioned to what is needed to the diversity groups that are here.
Ms. Rosado.
I think that, yes, we need more. I work for the state attorney's office here in Osceola. I work for Help Now as a victim advocate. I worked also with Council on Aging. And this is where I decided to do my own agency, where we had a little bit more of bilingual education. I work closely with probation and with the courthouse, and many of the classes that we need to give to our clients, it needs to be in their language. If they don't understand what they're doing or they're learning, then it's a cycle. They'll just go back to what they were doing. So yes, I think that we need to reinforce that there is more services with bilingual and facilitators and teachers and anyone out there working. Yes, I do.
Mr. Seacrest.
The City of Kissimmee administration does a really good job. They hire people and they retain, when I was talking with the city manager, they retain people for a long time. They aren't hiring people on a basis of any type of background or color other than what they can do for the city and their skills. The way the city can improve a representation in city management and administration is by reaching out to the community more in education and training and things that everybody could do, they could learn. There's a UCF Business Incubator type of program that's with the city. The city could maybe do some more education programs in the other areas that are new to the city, specifically in Hispanic neighborhoods or low-income neighborhoods. Any type of education would be great. And that's mainly the problem with representation, is people that go for the higher paying jobs or administrative jobs, they're well educated, and a lot of people in low income and minority areas just aren't as well educated.
Thank you very much. Mr. Scheer.
Do I think Kissimmee can do a better job? Yes, I do. I do think they're doing the best job they can based on what they've been working with in the past. As our population changes, and it is changing drastically, we have some, I think, 30 different nationalities coming into the area. And what we need to do is we need to go out and hit all those different areas, those different nationalities, in different methods than we've been doing in the past. Quite often, the city would put in a news article or an ad in the paper to let people know jobs are available. Not everybody's reading the paper these days. A lot of people are online. A lot of people are looking at television, radio. There's so many different media areas that we can go and expand our diversity. that I think we need to work on that a little bit better than we have in the past.
Thank you very much for your responses. I'm going to let the media panel know this is going to be the last question from each of you. So bring your number one question, and we're going to end with Mr. McBride's final question.
Are there any city services that you see that can use improvement?
Ms. Rosado.
I'm sorry, was that?
City services that could use improvement. What are city services that could use improvement? Ms. Rosado, you are up first.
Oh, well, what I stand for is resources. There's a lot of resources within the Kissimmee that we don't have. I'm talking about community services. I'm talking about social services. A lot of the things that come in within the social services. We need. My dream is to have or to see someday that Kissimmee has one location where people that are in need for shelter, people that are in need because they're ill, they don't have insurance, they don't have certain things, can go to directly, where they know it's just local, it's walking distance, and that they're going to come out with an answer. They're going to come out with a resource, with a referral. That's my dream.
Mr. Sechrist.
The public service issue that I've been met with the most is mainly roads. For some reason, because of the budget shortfalls and the lack of funds, roads are very expensive, and nearly 40% of the budget goes to the police department. The police department does a great job. Fire department, EMT. I hear we have one of the best trash companies around, and they're doing a really good job. And I've actually gotten used to the recycling, so we're doing good on that end. But as far as the city government needs to make ways to raise revenues so that we can work on the infrastructure. That is one of the main parts of the city government that could use the most improvement is roads, infrastructure types.
Mr. Shearer, service that needs improvement.
Well, let me first start with the services that don't seem to need improvement. Let's start with that and look at the positive. There are three basic services the city should supply: police, fire protection, and garbage collection. Right now, we're doing a fine job in all three areas. I know my garbage gets picked up every day or every week. Police are around when I need them, and the firemen are there as well. So then let's look at some of the other areas that we're having problems. One of the main areas I would like to look into and investigate further would be how our government, whether it be the code enforcement, the building department, economic development, how they interact with our businesses. We need to increase economic development, and obviously some of these areas are areas that we might be able to look at where maybe we can do a better job. So that's where I'm going to look at it first, in those areas. Doesn't necessarily mean we need to cut those departments. It just means maybe we need to streamline them a little bit better and meet the needs of the public.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alvarez.
I think the city provides services well enough with what they have to work with. If we want to see more services come in and improve and add more assistance, where are we going to get the revenues from? We just talked about if we were in favor of raising taxes or not. So we have to work with what the city has right now in their budget, because if not, then we have to go to the citizens and ask them that we have to raise some kind of fee or taxes. The city has done a great job with what they have to work with. Is there room for improvement? Yes, there is, once we get more funds to be able to pay for that. So I believe very strongly that the city is doing very well with what they have right now.
And Mr. Perez, your final question of this debate.
Okay, my final question is this one. All you people are talking about attracting new business to our community. Now, are you in favor of giving cash incentive to new business, or do you have any other means for attracting, new business to the community?
Mr. Sechrist, you're first.
Thank you. We've talked about earlier that the city government has already in place some incentives to bring in new business. There are grants, specific grants that can go towards impact fees or signage or electrical grants, things like that. The cash incentives, obviously we know that the budget is very tight, revenues are down. If we could extend, maybe there is a 5-year payoff for impact fees, there's programs like that. if there is a spot in the budget that is available that's already allocated, we should really choose to use those funds in the best way. So any cash incentives that are in the budget currently, we need to use those specifically and target really good businesses. And in the future, when we look at the budget, if we are running too low on any types of extra funds, then we'd have to look at other ways to attract in those businesses.
Mr. Scheer.
Whether it be for a new business or an existing business, we should do the same for each one. I don't think the city of Kissimmee has the money to give out cash incentives, but there are other ways of incentivizing businesses to expand or to develop, such as deferred payments for different impact fees. Also, the collection of taxes can be deferred in a matter. We need to look at that and see what area we're going to get the most bang for our buck. I don't believe that we need to go out and just give it to everybody. You have to show a need. You have to show an area where you're going to improve the city of Kissimmee, its residents, and the area in whole.
Thank you very much. Mr. Alvarez.
Yeah, the city already has incentives in places to attract all these companies that we want to bring here. But I'll go back to one of the answers I gave. How can you attract new businesses when you're not taking care of the businesses that you're here? Companies, before they move into a new area, they do a study on that area. And one of the study in that area is how is the local government treating those businesses that are already there? And if they're seeing that we're bringing them here, but then we abandon them, how are they going to come here? So I say first, let's concentrate and let's help the ones that we have here, and the other ones will come all by themselves. But there is already incentives in place for them for when they come here.
Ms. Rosado.
Yes, I believe so too. But I do believe that, yes, we can help the businesses that are wanting to relocate maybe here, but I do believe that we do need, or we would expect for them to give us a proposal where we can kind of see if it's really a good business, something that's going to help Kissimmee, something that's going to attract to Kissimmee. And I'll repeat again, as tourism. So if that's something that's going to help us and it's going to bring or help us, Kissimmee, economically, then I think, yes, we should. We should help them. We should give them at least 5 years maybe and give them the incentives. And there's a lot of businesses today that have it and are doing really well downtown Kissimmee. Thank you.
Thank you, panelists. That's going to conclude the question portion of our debate. And I really want to thank our panelists from the Osceola News-Gazette and Osceola Star. And we are going to move into closing remarks. And each candidate will have 30 seconds to make closing remarks. And we're going to begin with Mr. Scheer.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today to see us in this debate, to hear what we have to say, and to make your wise decision on August 14th for the best candidate for City Commission. I've got a lot of experience here, and experience is what matters in this race. For the city of St. Cloud, I give a course called Local Government 101. It's a 6-week course that teaches people, anybody who's interested, how government operates and why they make the decisions they make. To me, this is tremendous insight is what a candidate needs to do.
Thank you very much, Mr. Scheer. Mr. Alvarez.
My name is Jose Alvarez, and I'm sitting in front of you applying for a job. I'm applying for a job in front of you and every voter here in the city of Kissimmee. On August 14, I want you to hire me. I want you to hire me on the merit of my background, of what I've done. And all that information is in my website, and you can see it. I have been very involved with the city for a very long time, and I assure you that I can do the job. And if I don't do the job, then I don't get reelected. But I am here applying for a job. So on August 14, please vote for me, Jose Alvarez, for City of Kissimmee Commission Seat 1. Thank you for being here.
Ms. Rosado.
Thank you for being here. Right now, I am running for City Commission Seat 1. I want to make a difference. I think I can make the difference with all the experience I have, not only in education, but on a personal basis. I think it's time that we start listening to the people that vote for us, that put us up there. And I do want you to know that if I am the next commissioner, I want you behind me, because we can't do it by ourselves. We need to work together. And I think that unity is very important in Kissimmee. All together, we can make a difference. And I don't want to make a difference. I want to be the difference. Deborah Rosado.
Mr. Sechrist.
I'd like to thank everybody for laboring through this very intense debate. It's very exciting, I know, but we all know the issues that we face in this city. We all have really good ideas up here, and basically the main focus it should be is on August 14th, everyone needs to get out and vote and make a decision on who they think is going to be the right person to make sure the city of Kissimmee moves on, makes the right decisions, and I'm the person that knows how everyone has struggled, and I have good ideas to make us a better city in the future.
Thank you very much, and that's going to conclude our debate today. I want to once again thank our sponsors, our friends at KUA, Kissimmee Utility Authority, and our friends at Walt Disney World. We really appreciate their support to make this possible. And I really want to thank the candidates for participating in a civil, thoughtful, very interesting debate. You all did a great job, and it takes a lot of courage to throw your hat into the ring and run for office. Let's give all of our candidates a big round of applause. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and please vote on August 14th. Good evening.